Venezuela, a land where the ground itself hides a secret powerful enough to reshape nations. Beneath these forests and plains lies the largest oil reserve on Earth, more than anywhere else. A black gold so abundant that for a moment in history, fuel here was cheaper than water. But this story is bigger than oil. If you enjoy documentaries like this, please subscribe. For every new subscriber and comment, we are donating $10 to charity to support people affected by natural disasters and those impacted by ongoing conflicts. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like and share. Your support truly helps our channel grow and continue creating meaningful content. Now, back to the documentary. More than half of Venezuela's protected land, vast national parks, untouched wilderness, a living museum where giant capybaras roam freely and birds flash colors that seem almost unreal. From dense jungles to endless wetlands, life thrives, loud and wild. This is a country of extremes, immense wealth beneath the soil and extraordinary life above it. More than 350 islands rise from some of the clearest water on Earth. Most people will never see them. This hidden world is called Las Rocas. Floating quietly in the Caribbean Sea, Las Rocas feels less like a destination and more like a secret carefully kept by nature. Just 80 miles from Venezuela's mainland, this coral archipelago stretches across endless shades of blue, green, and turquoise. Each island is small, untouched, and surrounded by reefs that glow beneath the sunlight. Declared a national park in 1972, Las Rocas was protected before mass tourism could ever change it. Here, coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrass beds still exist in perfect balance. Sea turtles return to these shores to nest, while flamingos and seabirds paint the sky with slow, graceful movement. From above, the view is almost unreal, like scattered white brushstrokes on a crystal blue canvas. Life here moves at the rhythm of the ocean, calm and unhurried. There are no towering hotels, only small guest houses that blend into the landscape. Life in Las Rocas is simple and slow. People move by boat, follow the wind, and plan their days around the water. Nothing here feels rushed, and that's exactly why the place stays with you. Before we continue, here's a quick question for you. Which color is not on the Venezuelan flag? Comment your answer below. Almost 27% of Venezuela is one single natural region, flat, endless, alive. This place is called the Llanos. It is the geographical and spiritual heart of the country, stretching as far as the eye can see. Wide skies hang low over slow rivers, and the plains seem to touch every horizon at once. For generations, hard-working cowboys have raised cattle here on horseback, shaping a way of life deeply tied to the land. During the dry season, the plains turn dusty and cracked under the sun. But when rains return from the Andes, rivers overflow and flood the land again. This yearly cycle of drought and water brings the plains back to life. It creates one of South America's richest ecosystems. Birds fill the sky with as many species as Britain and the United States combined. Scarlet ibis, spoonbills, hoatzins, and sunbittens paint the wetlands with color. On the ground and in the water live capybaras, jaguars, giant antas, crocodiles, and anacondas. Freshwater dolphins move through the rivers, while turtles and piranhas share the same waters. Beneath these quiet plains lies a land shaped by millions of years of sediment and ancient seas. The Llanos may look simple at first glance, but it is a place where nature, history, and life come together on a massive scale. If you're watching this, please click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but it means a lot to us. Angel Falls is so tall, the water doesn't reach the ground as water. It turns into mist in the air. This is the tallest uninterrupted waterfall on Earth. Angel Falls is located deep inside Canaima National Park in southeastern Venezuela. The waterfall drops from the edge of a uni, a massive flat-top mountain formed millions of years ago. From the top to the bottom, the total height reaches 979 meters, making it the highest of its kind in the world. Most of the water falls freely for over 800 meters before hitting rocks below. Because of this extreme height, strong winds break the falling water into tiny droplets. These droplets spread through the air and create thick mist long before reaching the ground. For many years, the waterfall remained unknown to the outside world because of its remote jungle location. The local Pomone people knew the mountain well, but avoided the falls, believing powerful spirits lived nearby. In 1933, an American pilot named Jimmy Angel accidentally flew over the mountain while searching for gold. From his plane, he saw a massive white line cutting through the green jungle below. That flight introduced Angel Falls to the world and forever changed its history. Today, the waterfall is protected as part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserving its raw and untouched beauty. Morrocoy National Park is located on the Caribbean coast of Venezuela in Falcon State, near towns like Tucacus and Chichirviche. The park was officially created in 1974 to protect the natural life along this part of the coast. It covers both land and sea, stretching across more than 32,000 hectares of water, islands, and shoreline. Much of the park is made up of small islands called cayos, known for white sand beaches and clear, shallow water. Between these islands, mangrove forests grow in salty lagoons and help protect the coast from erosion. These mangroves also provide shelter and food for fish, birds, and other marine animals. Under the water, coral reefs once covered large areas and supported many sea species. In recent years, human activity has caused a serious decline in coral health. Despite this, Morrocoy remains one of the most biologically rich coastal areas in the Caribbean. Several endangered animals live here, including 4 species of sea turtles that nest on the beaches. Visitors can explore the park by swimming, snorkeling, or traveling by boat between the islands. Temperatures stay fairly steady throughout the year, usually between 27 and 35 degrees. Cayo Sombrero is a small Caribbean island in the famous Morrocoy National Park off the coast of Falcon State in Venezuela. Despite its size, this island is one of the most popular destinations in the entire park. The island covers about 35 hectares, making it slightly smaller than Vatican City. Cayo Sombrero sits surrounded by the clear turquoise waters of the Caribbean Sea. It has 2 large beaches, each with bright white sand that glows under the tropical sun. A forest of coconut palms stretches across the island, giving natural shade and a true tropical atmosphere. The island's beaches are known as some of the best in Venezuela, attracting visitors from near and far. Cayo Sombrero's coral reefs lie just offshore, perfect for snorkeling and swimming in calm, transparent waters. Bright tropical fish, soft corals, and sea turtles can all be spotted in the shallow reefs. The island's name comes from its unique shape. Some say it looks like a giant hat resting on the sea. Because Cayo Sombrero lies within a protected national park, there are no permanent hotels on the island itself. Visitors bring what they need and enjoy a day of sun, sea, and nature in one of Venezuela's most untouched coastal paradises. Cayo de Agua is a small island in the eastern Caribbean Sea, and it belongs to Venezuela's Los Roques archipelago. It sits on the western edge of Los Roques National Park, a protected area known for keeping its islands clean and untouched. The name Cayo de Agua comes from fresh water wells that once existed here, which is very unusual for such a small coral island. This island is far north of mainland Venezuela, making it feel remote and peaceful from the moment visitors arrive. What truly sets Cayo de Agua apart is a long, narrow sandbar that connects 2 parts of the island. At low tide, this sand path stretches across the sea and looks like it slowly fades into the horizon. The water around the sandbar is shallow and incredibly clear, allowing people to see the sandy bottom beneath their feet. Its bright turquoise color changes with the sunlight, making the island look different at every hour of the day. Because it is part of a national park, the beach remains natural with no large buildings or noisy crowds. The soft white sand and open space make this island ideal for travelers who want calm instead of busy resorts. Cayo de Agua offers a rare experience where simple landscapes and natural beauty come together in perfect balance. Would you visit this place? Comment 1 if you've already been, or 2 if it's on your list now. The rocks on this mountain are older than almost anything you can touch on Earth. They were here nearly 2 billion years ago. This ancient place is Mount Roraima. Rising high above the savannas and rainforests, it looks like a giant table placed by nature itself. Steep cliffs drop straight down on every side, some as high as 1,000 meters. From a distance, the mountain feels less like land and more like a fortress in the sky. Clouds often wrap around its flat top, making it seem as if it is floating above the world. Time moved differently up here. Rain slowly carved the stone into strange towers, smooth valleys, and shining white crystals. The soil is thin and harsh, yet life still finds a way to exist. Plants and animals evolved here alone, found nowhere else on Earth. To the Piemon people, this place is sacred. They call it the House of the Gods, a reminder that nature is older, greater, and more powerful than any human story. Just off the coast of Venezuela lies Margarita Island, the biggest and most famous island in the state of Nueva Sparta. People call it the Pearl of the Caribbean because hundreds of years ago, the seabed was actually covered in shimmering white pearls. The island is shaped like 2 large peninsulas, joined together by a thin strip of land called the La Restinga Isthmus. Because of its beauty, Christopher Columbus visited here in 1498, but the local Guaris people had already been living here for a long time. To protect their pearl from pirate attacks in the old days, the settlers built massive stone forts that you can still explore today. Now it's a bustling, duty-free port where history and nature meet, making it the perfect tropical getaway for any explorer. This information comes from different sources. If you notice anything missing or want to add something, feel free to share in the comments.
This mountain is called Chiricayan, and its long silhouette clearly looks like a person lying down when seen from the road. It stands about 1,650 meters above sea level in the southern part of the Grand Savannah outside Canaima National Park. Chiricayan is a tepu, a flat-top sandstone mountain with steep vertical walls, one of more than 90 found in Venezuela. Its name means Mountain of the Parrots, given by indigenous people because many colorful birds live in this area. Caracas is the capital and largest city of Venezuela. Located in a valley in the north of the country, the city sits along the Guare River and is surrounded by mountains on almost every side. To the north, a steep 2,200-meter mountain called Cerro El Avia separates Caracas from the Caribbean Sea. This mountain made the city hard to reach, but also helped protect it from attacks. Before the city existed, indigenous people lived and farmed in this fertile valley. In the mid-1500s, several early settlements were built here, but were destroyed by local leaders resisting control. After many failed attempts, Caracas was officially founded in 1567. Because it was close to the coast, the city quickly became part of important trade routes. Farmers grew wheat and later cacao, which brought money and growth to the city. In 1577, Caracas was chosen as the capital of the Spanish province of Venezuela. Although pirates often attacked the coast, the mountains helped keep the city safer. Still, in 1595, pirates crossed the mountains and burned Caracas, forcing it to rebuild. Earthquakes, trade problems, and wars later slowed the city's growth. In the 20th century, oil wealth helped Caracas expand with modern buildings and public transport. The Coral River flows through southeastern Venezuela, deep inside Canaima National Park in the Grand Savannah region. It begins in an ancient landscape shaped billions of years ago and cuts across open savannas surrounded by dense jungle. The river's water is dark and tea-colored, naturally by plants from the forest. During the rainy season, the corral becomes a natural highway for wooden canoes, known as cuaras. Traveling by river is the only way to explore this roadless region, which is as large as an entire country. Wildlife lives close to the water,
from giant otters and monkeys to many species of birds. The Chutron River is a medium-length river in southeastern Venezuela, flowing through the heart of Canaima National Park. This river is part of the huge Orinoco River Basin, one of South America's major water systems. The Chutron River begins high up on the Tepui mountain. The river then winds through deep jungle and rugged canyons, making the landscape feel wild and untouched. Chutron River is a key water route for visitors heading to Angel Falls by boat or canoe. Because the region has no roads, the river is one of the only ways to reach the waterfall and explore the park. The Chutron finally joins the larger Car River, which continues on toward the Great Orinoco River. Traveling along the Chutron River lets you see dramatic cliffs, rushing water, and parts of Venezuela few people ever visit.
Few people know this. Guaymas was officially founded by order of the King of Spain, not to expand control, but to stop abuse against indigenous people. In 1621, the Spanish crown ordered a new town where indigenous people would live under the protection of a church and a priest. Before this, many indigenous families were forced to work all week on other people's land, with no rest days and no land of their own. Spanish law said this treatment was illegal, but in reality, the abuses continued for years. Because of this, construction of Guaymas only began in 1623, after a royal court forced local landowners to obey the king's order. The name Guaymas comes from an indigenous word meaning land of grass, describing the wide green fields that once covered this area. Uruwani Waterfall, also known locally as Stowani, is a scenic waterfall in the Gran Sabana region of Venezuela. It lies along the Uruwani River in the northeastern part of Canaima National Park, one of the country's largest protected areas. The waterfall is part of a cluster of natural cascades and river features that make the Gran Sabana a must-see destination. This village has no roads leading to it. For over 300 years, the only way to reach Chala has been by boat from the nearby town of Coroni. Chala is a small village on the northern coast of Venezuela, surrounded by high mountains and thick rainforest.
This is not Germany. This is not Europe. Yet everything you see feels strangely European. Welcome to Colonia Tovar, deep inside Latin America. High in the coastal mountains of northern Venezuela, Colonia Tovar sits surrounded by thick green forests and cool mountain air. The town was founded in 1843 by more than 300 German settlers who arrived from the Karlsruhe region after crossing the Atlantic Ocean. They built steep red-tiled roofs and wooden houses to match the homes they had left behind in Germany. Instead of giving up their traditions, they kept their language, food, music, and daily customs alive in this new land. Over time, these European roots mixed naturally with Venezuelan culture, creating a place unlike anywhere else in the country. Tired of cities, noise, and places that all look the same? There is a land where time feels frozen and nature still leads the way. This land is Canaima National Park, located in the southeast of Venezuela. The park is massive, covering about 30,000 square kilometers of land. It sits between two huge river systems, the Orinoco Basin and the Amazon Basin. One of the most striking features here is the tepuis, flat-topped mountains that rise sharply from the ground. These tepuis are made of sandstone and formed more than 150 million years ago. They are among the oldest exposed rocks in all of South America. Over time, rain and wind carve deep canyons, gullies, and sinkholes into their tops. Below the tepuis, moist forests are home to animals like giant anteaters, tapirs, and capybaras. Hidden among the trees, jaguars and cougars move quietly, rarely seen by humans. Above the forests, large birds, such as the harpy eagle, hunt from the sky. Some bird species live only on these tepuis and nowhere else in the world. Because of its natural value, Canaima was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994.
7,000 years ago,
A dramatic geological shift forced Venezuela's greatest river to tear itself apart into hundreds of smaller waterways. The result was the Orinoco Delta, one of the very few places on Earth where piranhas swim beneath the shadow of the tallest mangrove forests on the planet. Here, the Orinoco River spreads out into hundreds of narrow waterways called caños, forming a wide fan-shaped delta that opens to the Atlantic Ocean. These habitats support an extraordinary range of wildlife, from capybaras and howler monkeys to caimans, turtles, and brightly colored birds. Fish like piranhas thrive in the slow-moving waters, while mangrove roots rise above them like natural walls. Imagine a world where 200 billion tons of carbon are suddenly released into the sky. That's the nightmare we face if we lose the Amazon. This massive rainforest spreads across 9 countries in South America, covering nearly 40% of their continent. It is not just large in size, but rich in life, holding about 1 in every 10 known species on Earth. Around 1.4 billion acres of dense forest make up this ecosystem, forming one of the largest natural systems on the planet. The Amazon also contains about 20% of the world's liquid fresh water, stored in its rivers, streams, and wetlands. These waters support more than 2,400 species of freshwater fish, including piranhas and the giant piracucu. Above the rivers and forest floor, nearly 50,000 plant species grow, some of which are used in modern medicine today. The forest is also home to rare animals like jaguars, harpy eagles, sloths, pink river dolphins, and thousands of birds and butterflies. Many of these species have never been fully studied, and some have not even been named yet. The forest stores an estimated 150 to 200 billion tons of carbon inside its trees and soil. When deforestation happens, that stored carbon is released, directly affecting the global climate. This is why the health of the Amazon rainforest is deeply connected to the health of the entire planet. Deep in the Falcon State, there's a place so strategically positioned that the Caribbean natives named it after the very birth of light. This is Chichen Itza, the literal place where rises our sun. And it sits on a geographic profile so unique, it dictates the very weather of the region. Only 5 meters above sea level, the town rests so low that the sea and the land constantly shape each other. This rare meeting of river and ocean cools the surrounding air and feeds mangroves that protect the coastline. Because of this balance, the waters here stay rich with life. From coral reefs to schools of tropical fish, Chichen Itza also serves as the main northern gateway to Morrocoy National Park. The climate remains warm all year, with temperatures staying close to the high 20s and little seasonal change. For centuries, this coast was home to the Kakatori people, who used these calm waters as routes for trade and seasonal travel. In 1499, Spanish explorers reached the shoreline, turning Chichen Itza Beach into one of the earliest contact points between Europe and the Caribbean coast of Venezuela. Today, Chichen Itza is recognized as a marine hope spot, where scientists and locals work together to protect coral life. Blas Mercedes is a modern district in Caracas, located in the Baruta municipality, and is known for shopping, food, and nightlife. The area covers about 93 hectares and is built around wide main avenues filled with shops and busy streets. Many people come here to eat at well-known restaurants. The district began to grow quickly in the mid-1900s, when oil wealth pushed Caracas to expand and modernize. This growth brought modern services, organized zoning, and strong support for businesses and public spaces. Cascada del Vino, which means wine waterfall, is a rare waterfall in Venezuela where the water looks dark red, like burgundy wine. This unusual color comes from tannic acid, a natural substance released by tree roots along the river. The waterfall is located inside Dainir National Park, near the town of Moran in Lara State. For thousands of years, strong trade winds have pushed this desert across the land. The dunes here move so much, they're called the Wandering Sands. This is Los Moranos de Oro, Venezuela's living desert. The park is located in Falcon State, right next to the city of Coro in northwestern Venezuela. It covers more than 35 square miles of desert and coastal land. Rain is very rare here, which allows sand to stay dry and easy for the wind to move. The constant trade winds blow from east to west, reshaping the dunes every single day. Some dunes rise over 8 meters high, then slowly collapse and reform somewhere else. Founded in 1621 on a small hill between rivers, Petare grew from a quiet colonial town into a key part of Greater Caracas. Before Spanish settlers arrived, the land was home to the Marriages people, whose lives shaped the valley's earliest history. The town was built around a central square, with a church, a market, and homes arranged in a simple grid that guided everyday life. Rich soil and mild weather supported farms of coffee, cocoa, corn, and sugarcane that fed both Petare and nearby Caracas. Royal roads crossed this area, turning the town into a busy stop where travelers and merchants shared goods and news. Because of its pleasant climate, artists, writers, and leaders from Caracas came here to rest, work, and find inspiration. In the 20th century, open fields were replaced by dense neighborhoods, schools, and services as the population grew quickly. To protect its history, key churches and the old town center were later declared national monuments with special protections. Located in the northeast of Venezuela's Los Roques archipelago, Cayo Vapor sits isolated inside the reef barrier of the national park. The island is extremely small, covering about 2 hectares, and lies a short boat ride east of Franceschi and Grand Roca. There are no trees or shade, and entering the water can feel rough because the seabed is made of coral and stones. Just offshore, the outer reef opens into clear waters, where snorkeling becomes the main reason people come here. Steady coastal winds make this spot appealing to kite surfers moving between nearby islands. Stay with us and keep watching, because this is only one small piece of Venezuela, and the places ahead reveal a side of the country few people ever get to see. Aragua State sits in the heart of Venezuela, where plains, jungles, and Caribbean beaches come together in one place. Its name comes from an old indigenous word that means my place, a simple idea that still fits the land today. Long before modern cities, these valleys were rich with palm trees, rivers, and fertile soil. In the 16th century, Spanish settlers arrived and used the land for cattle, cocoa, and sugarcane farms. Small farming communities slowly grew, and by the early 1700s, towns like Marabi began to take shape. The area lived through wars, epidemics, and hard times that shaped both the land and its people. In the 20th century, everything began to change when Marabi became the state capital. Roads, services, and new buildings helped the city grow faster than ever before. Aragua also became a meeting place of cultures, from indigenous roots to Spanish and European influences. Today, history still lives on in its old churches, towns, and traditions. Aragua is not just a state on a map, but a place where nature, history, and everyday life flow together naturally. Mifi Valley lies high in the Andes of Mérida Estate, Venezuela, inside the Sierra de la Colada Mountains. This valley sits more than 4,100 meters above sea level, making it one of the highest scenic valleys in the region. The landscape here feels wild and dramatic, with rocky ground and paramo grasslands stretching toward the sky. Mifi is part of a protected high mountain ecosystem in Sierra de la Colada National Park. Hotel Humboldt is a famous building high above Caracas, Venezuela, in Guerrero-Rapano National Park. It stands over 2,140 meters above sea level and offers 360-degree views of the city and the Caribbean Sea. The hotel was first built in 1956 as a modern architectural icon of Venezuela. Its name honors Alexander von Humboldt, a German explorer who studied this land long ago. The Central University of Venezuela is a public university located in Caracas. It was founded in 1721, making it the oldest university in Venezuela. At first, classes were held in small religious buildings and were taught only in Latin. Students studied subjects like theology, medicine, law, and philosophy. Over time, the university became a place where new European ideas quietly entered Venezuela. Many future leaders and thinkers learned here and later helped shape the country's independence.
Because of this unique mix of history, education, and art, UNESCO named the campus a World Heritage Site in 2000. Los Chaguaramos is a neighborhood in the Libertador municipality of Caracas. It sits at about 867 meters above sea level and lies near other sectors like Valle Bajo and Santa Monica. The area reflects Caracas's urban growth since the 1940s, with many buildings showing layers of the city's history. Los Chaguaramos is part of the larger urban fabric of Caracas and contributes to the city's cultural and social life.
Next, let's hop over to Madriski, a tiny island in the Los Roques archipelago that's only about the size of 35 football fields. This little gem is tucked away in the Caribbean waters of Venezuela, just a short boat ride from the main town of Grand Rock. Even though it's small, it's one of the most popular stops because the water is so shallow and clear you can see your toes perfectly. The island is famous for its bright white sand and glass-like ocean that stays calm all day long. For those who want to see what's underneath the blue water, this is a top-tier spot for scuba diving and snorkeling. Madriski might be tiny, but it's a giant playground for anyone who loves the sun and the sea. For over 200 years, this tiny island supplied salt to the world. Without it, food could not survive long journeys. They called it white gold. To catch this white gold, people built clever windmills and long canals to trap the ocean water in giant shallow ponds. As the hot Caribbean sun beat down, the water evaporated, leaving behind sparkling crystals of salt for workers to collect. For centuries, Salt Cay was the salt capital of the world, with hundreds of people working hard under the island's trade winds. But today, the giant salt pans are quiet, and the heavy salt carts are a past thing. The island is so peaceful that there aren't even any paved roads, so most people just get around by walking or driving golf carts.
High above the jungle, you can see a shimmering lake hidden deep in southeastern Venezuela. This is Canaima Lake, a calm water jewel inside a place called Canaima National Park. It lies in Bolívar State, one of the largest and oldest natural parks on Earth. The lake is fed by 7 waterfalls that pour water into its calm surface all year long. The color of the water changes from blue to red because of natural minerals and plants around it. Laguna Canaima is part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Because it is so special and beautiful, visitors love to watch the water move and listen to the sounds of nature all around the lake. Keep watching because what comes next will completely change how you see Venezuela. Hacha Falls, also called Salto Hacha, is a spectacular waterfall in the Bolívar state of Venezuela, deep inside Canaima National Park. It sits on the Care River and flows year-round, making it a dramatic sight even in the driest months. Hacha Falls is part of a stunning group of waterfalls that pour into the Word Kima Lagoon, surrounded by lush jungle and tepui plateaus. Local guides often describe the journey as crossing into another world. Because the falls never completely dry up, they are a reliable highlight for travelers exploring Canaima from January through December. Deep in the Caribbean lies an island so unique that its entire center is built on a shifting foundation of sand. This is Gran Roque, the vibrant heart of the Los Roques archipelago, where the streets are made of soft sand instead of cold asphalt. Because there are no paved roads, almost everyone here walks around barefoot, even when heading to one of the island's many restaurants. The town is a kaleidoscope of color, with over 50 cozy inns painted in bright pinks, blues, and yellows to welcome travelers from across the globe. As you wander past the 120 local shops, you'll feel the joyful holiday spirit that has turned this old fishing village into a major tourist hub. Even though it feels like a secret world, this small island is home to 1,500 people who live in houses right on the edge of the Caribbean Sea.
History runs deep here, too, as Gran Roque has appeared on Spanish maps for hundreds of years as a strategic outpost for sailors. While it was once a quiet territory for fishermen, the island was modernized in 2011 to become a main center for the surrounding islands. Despite its long history, the entire island only covers about 1.7 kilometers, so you can explore the whole town in just one afternoon.